shot and killed while on the job by a total stranger. Tonight, what may have happened to a Scripps Ranch man.
What we saw was likely the largest natural disaster in Hawaii state history.
Tonight, a desperate effort to provide relief as the death toll rises in Maui. The latest from the island and how you can help from right here in San Diego. Plus,
high humidity not stopping brush fire concerns. More details on why coming up.
Inside this ICU, mental health patients in crisis. And on the outside, a former patient sharing her encouragement.
CBS 8 News Live at 6 starts now.
Tonight, a Scripps Ranch High School graduate is dead, shot and killed in a Denver nightclub, seemingly out of revenge. At this hour, there has been no arrest. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Marcella Lee.
And I'm Jesse Pagan in for Carlo Cicchetto. People across the country are mourning the loss of Jason Perry, including his dad and old friends. CBS 8's Jenny Day talked with them. She's live in Scripps Ranch tonight with what they had to say. Jenny?
Just 46 years young, Jason Perry from the Scripps Ranch class of 1995 went on to DJ and make the world a bit brighter.
Always the life of the party, lit up a room every opportunity he had. Bombastic is a word that I like to think of when I think of Jason. Outgoing, big heart, a lot of love.
Nick Fiorina played ball with him as kids. Then the two worked together through high school.
He loved Star Wars and he loved movies, he loved cinema, and he loved music. And good dude.
Another friend from Scripps Ranch also just shocked to hear the news.
The way he died was like, it's not what I expected. I was like, that was terrible. I was heartbroken.
Tuesday night, Jason was DJing at a club in Denver, Colorado on Federal Boulevard, where he also served as a security guard.
There was a customer that was getting rowdy.
His dad told me Jason escorted him out, and minutes later, the man returned and opened fire right there in the parking lot, all before 10 p.m.
This is a shock to our entire family. It was a senseless murder of our son. I guess the bright side of it is that his last days was doing what he enjoyed doing, and that was entertaining.
This here is the last picture taken with his mom less than 1 month ago. They actually adopted Jason at just 7 weeks old.
And the nun brought him out to Connie and I in a Christmas stocking. That was the beginning.
Denver police are only saying that this homicide remains under investigation, but Jason's dad is, of course, hopeful for justice. He says the club where the shooting happened has been cooperative and empathetic.
They do know who the person is. One of the protocols at the club is that every patron was photographed and they took a copy of their driver's license.
A senseless act, a life taken too soon. Now only his legacy remains.
Involved with a star here because the outpouring has just been unbelievable.
Yeah, and my apologies that you couldn't hear me at the beginning. So I did want to share with you that Jason Perry used to work right here at Pazzo's Pizza in Scripps Ranch. He was also voted class clown back in '95. And again, you heard from so many people now that just shared how funny he really was and just how much he'll be missed. And I know that this happened in Denver, but please know that there is a $2,000 reward being offered by Crime Stoppers for any information that helps lead to an arrest. Marcella.
Jenny, it sounds like he definitely made an impact on all of the people that he knew here. Are there any plans for a memorial for him here?
So there are. We don't have a date set yet, but the family has been wonderful and spoke with me today, and they did share that there should be a fundraiser or some kind of memorial happening right here at Pazzo's Pizza, so we'll certainly keep you updated and hopefully can share an arrest was made soon, too, as well. I'm Jenny Day for CBS 8 in Scripps Ranch.
Hopefully they close the case soon. Thanks, Jenny.
Right now, an accused car burglar is under arrest after a police shooting. It all happened just after 3 this morning on Lebanon Drive in University City. Police say they saw 2 men trying to break into a car. Those 2 men then ran away, with one shooting at officers. Officers say they shot a man and took him into custody. He was hospitalized and is expected to survive. Detectives are still searching for the second suspect. No one else was hurt.
Right now, firefighters are working on fully extinguishing this small brush fire burning just west of Interstate 15 in Bonsall. These flames broke out just after 3 o'clock this afternoon near Old Highway 395 and State Route 76. Several lanes of the Interstate 15 are now back open tonight after being closed for a short time due to this fire. According to CAL FIRE, 3 to 5 acres burned before crews made quick work, and they were actually able to stop the spread of the flame. So tonight, we're just watching for hot spots. Fortunately, there have been no reports of any injuries or damage. Wind conditions, or lack thereof, play a major role when it comes to beating back fires.
Yeah, Chief Meteorologist Carlene Chavis here with a look at what crews are facing tonight.
Well, that's the thing. We've been talking about all these brush fires popping up. We also have high humidity out there. So the focus really should not be on the weather aspect, but the fact that we have dry brush. So a lot of these fires are popping up, but then they're quickly being handled because weather conditions have actually been favorable.
No wind, which is great, right?
Correct. So we are talking about 2 miles per hour right now for Bonsall. When we take a look at current conditions, you also have 74 degrees. You have high humidity. It doesn't get any higher than 100%. Now we are talking about high humidity that will continue to be sticking around as we go into the weekend forecast. That's not going to change. Also talking about drier conditions, but we got to wait till next week for that to happen. You have 30% relative humidity right now for the desert. You'll see an influx when it comes to humidity overnight. That's why we're going to continue to see the marine layer, even some patchy drizzle being possible. We have you looking at high humidity even for tomorrow afternoon, so above 50% for most of the county, and then we have just basically that on repeat. That takes us all the way into the start of next week, and we are also looking at a chance we could see a few isolated showers and thunderstorms in the forecast for a couple of areas. So we'll take a look at your complete forecast coming up. Marcella?
Thanks, Carlene. We have an update tonight on the Bunny fire that burned in Ramona this week. Fire crews say they now have that fire 80% contained. The fire started Wednesday morning near Bunny King Lane in Ramona and triggered evacuations for the people who lived in that area. The flames burned more than 180 acres before they were stopped. Evacuation orders were lifted that same night. One firefighter was injured with burns to his hands, but he is expected to be okay.
Today, San Diego County healthcare workers rallied in support of a bill that would create a minimum wage for them here. SB 525 would set a $25 minimum wage for healthcare workers, which would be the highest minimum wage in the country. Workers say it would help address the staffing shortages in hospitals.
We need staff who are not exhausted because they are working a second and a third job just to pay their bills.
A recent UC Berkeley report found the minimum wage hike would impact nearly 470,000 healthcare workers.
A Camp Pendleton Marine has been charged with sexual assault of a 14-year-old girl who went missing from her home in Spring Valley.
She was found inside a barracks with the Marine on base last month. CBS 8's David Gottfredson spoke with a military law attorney to find out what happens next.
Well, it sounds like they're charging him with a sexual assault offense, which is a serious offense.
The charges were announced late this afternoon against a Camp Pendleton Marine who was found on June 28th with a 14-year-old girl inside his barracks on base. The girl had been missing for 2 weeks before she was found. I asked military attorney Gary Barthel about the charges.
Sexual assault charge, given the nature of that allegation, it's going to go to a preliminary hearing. A preliminary hearing officer will hear all the evidence presented by the government and the defense. And then that preliminary hearing officer will make a recommendation as to whether or not the allegation should go forward with regard to a general court martial or some other administrative or disciplinary action be taken.
The Marine also has been charged with violating a liberty restriction from a prior unrelated case.
The breaking liberty, it sounds to me like he may have had some other administrative disciplinary action taken against him previously that would have restricted his ability to go on liberty. And it sounds like they're charging him with violating that order.
Earlier this week, the family of the alleged victim held a news conference saying the girl had been sex trafficked and calling for charges to be filed. A report in military.com said the girl met the Marine on the dating app Tinder and that she pretended to be age 22.
That's always a defense, that he believed that she was or led him to believe that she was of age. So that is a potential defense that could be made.
The Marine still has not been named. A preliminary hearing is set for Thursday at Camp Pendleton.
If he's found not guilty, then, obviously there'll be no punishment. But if he is found guilty, he's looking at potential confinement. He's looking at a dishonorable discharge.
David Gottfredson, CBS 8.
Thanks, David. San Diego Mayor Todd Gloria says he will be cracking down on illegal street vendors, threatening to take away their equipment immediately if they don't follow the rules. This comes after more than a dozen restaurant owners came together downtown today to share their frustrations about illegal street vendors operating in the Gaslamp Quarter. The Gaslamp Quarter Association says as many as 100 street vendors set up each night right outside restaurants there. That's despite the city banning street vending in the Gaslamp Quarter, East Village, and parts of Little Italy last year. Mayor Gloria says vendors who violate the ordinance will now have their food equipment immediately impounded.
New tonight, Mayor Gloria as well and the Housing Commissioner are opening up a new family shelter in Barrio Logan. Families living in Golden Hall right now will be able to relocate to a 42-bedroom shelter that used to be a motel. Families living at the shelter will get supportive services to help them find long-term housing.
This will not only improve the life of the folks who will live here, but will improve, I think, the experience of the community here that has suffered from a tremendous amount of tent encampments in the area.
Families will also get 3 meals a day, private restrooms, laundry facilities, and phone and mailing services.
Still ahead on CBS 8 News Live at 6, an Amber Alert spreading on social media, maybe just another tool for scammers. We verify.
And deadly wildfires ravaging Hawaii, an update from Maui as the death toll and devastation grows.
Plus, thousands of people on the island are desperate for help. How a former San Diegan is leading the charge for supplies and how you can make a difference there.